Oh, hello, great readers. I'm Belchan.
I'm Nimikung.
I'm Van Chan.
In this class, I'll read all of your part of Great Expectations.
S.
L.
Great Expectations. Charles Dickens. 55 Sec 1. He was taken to the police court next day and would have been immediately committed for trial, from which he had once escaped. To speak to his identity, nobody doubted it but Compison, who had meant to deposit it, was tumbling on the tides. They who could give the required evidence. I had gone direct to Mr. Shavers at his private house on my arrival overnight to retain his assistance, and Mr. Shavers on the prisoner's behalf would admit nothing. It was the sole resource. Witness was there, and that no power on earth could prevent its going against us. I imparted to Mr. Shavers my design of keeping him in ignorance of the fate of his wolf, Mr. and said we must memoryless by and by, and try at all events for some of it. But he did not conceal from me that, although there might be many cases in which the forfeiture would not be exacted, there were no circumstances in this case to make it one of them. I understood that very well. I was not related to the outlaw, or connected with him by any recognizable tie, apprehension, and to do so now would be idle. I had no claim, and I finally resolved, and ever afterwards abided by the resolution, on reward out of this forfeiture, and had obtained some accurate knowledge of Magwitch affairs when his body was found many miles from the scene of his death, and so horribly disfigured that he was only recognizable by the contents of his pockets. Notes were still legible, folded in a case he carried. Among these were the name of a banking house in New South Wales, where a sum of money was, and the designation of certain lands of considerable value. Both these heads of information were in a list that Magwitch, while in prison, gave to Mr. Shavers of the positions he supposed I should inherit. His ignorance, poor fellow, at last served him. He never mistrusted but that my inheritance was quite safe, with Mr. Shavers' aid. After 3 days' delay, prison shipped, the witness came, and completed the easy case. He was committed to take his trial at the next sessions, which would come on in a month. It was at this dark time of my life that Herbert returned home one evening, a good deal cast in, and said, "My dear Handel," his partner having prepared me for that. I was a surprise, and he thought, "We shall lose a fine opportunity if I put off going to Cairo, and I am very much afraid I must go. Handel, Herbert, I shall always need you, because I shall always love you." "I have not leisure to think of that," said I. "Odd, and that I should be with him all day long, if I could. And when I come away from him, the dreadful condition to which he was brought, was so appalling to both of us that we could not refer to it in plainer words. "My dear fellow," said Herbert, "let the near prospect of our separation for it is very near my justification for troubling you about yourself. But yours cannot be dismissed. Indeed, my dear Handel, it must not be dismissed. I wish you would return it now. As far as a few friendly words go, I will," said I, "in this branch house of ours. And I saw that his delicacy was avoiding the right word. So I said, Clerk of your acquaintance has expanded into a part now. And Handel, in short. My dear boy, there is something charmingly cordial and engaging in the manner in which, after saying now, Handel, as if it were the grave beginning of a portentous business accordion, he had suddenly given up that tone, stretched out his honest hand, and spoken like a schoolboy. "Clara and I have talked about it again and again," Herbert pursued. "And the dear little thing begged me only this evening, with tears in her eyes, to say to you that, if you will live with us when we come together, she will do her best to make you happy, and to convince her husband's friend that he is her friend too. We should get on so well." I thanked her heartily, and I thanked him heartily. Odd. Firstly, my mind was too preoccupied to be able to take in the subject clearly. Secondly, the end of this slight narrative, that if you that, Albert, that you could, without doing any injury to your business, for any while, cried Herbert. 6 months. Not so long as that, said I. Herbert was highly delighted when we shook hands on this arrangement. Go away at the end of the week. And Clara, said I. The dear little thing, returned Herbert. Holds dutifully to her father as long as he lasts. But he won't last long. Mice. Not to say an unfeeling thing, said I. I am afraid that must be admitted, said Herbert. And then I shall come back for the dear little thing. And the dear little thing and I will walk quietly into the nearest church. Remember, the blessed darling comes of no family. My dear Handel, I never looked into the red book, and hasn't a notion about her grandpapa. On the Saturday in that same week, I took my leave of Herbert full of bright hope. Coaches. I went into a coffee house to write a little note to Clara, telling her he had gone off, sending his love to her over and over again, and then went to my lonely home, yet it deserved the name, for it was now no home to me, and I had no home anywhere. On the stairs I encountered Wemmick, who was coming down, after an unsuccessful application of his knuckles to my door. I had not seen him alone since the disastrous issue of the attempted flight, and he had come, in his private and personal capacity, to say a few words of explanation in reference to that affair. The late compison, said Wemmick, now transacted, his people being always in trouble, that I heard what I did. I kept my ears open, seeming to have them shut, until I heard that he was absent, and I thought that would be the best time for making the attempt. I can only suppose now that it was a part of his policy. As a very clever man, habitually to deceive his own instruments. You don't know me. I hoped. Mister. I am sure I tried to serve you. I am as sure of that. Wemmicht. As you can be. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a bad job, said Wemmick. To be continued.